A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Dear students of class 12, subject Environment Science. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today our topic is Air Prevention and Control of Pollution Act 1981. Last time हमने डिस्कस किया था the Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Act 1974. Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Act 1974 came into force in 1974, and the Air Prevention and Control of Pollution Act 1981 came into force in 1981. The Air Prevention and Control of Pollution Act 1981 पर डिस्कस करने से पहले हम डिस्कस करेंगे व्हाट इज एयर पोल्यूशन. एयर पोल्यूशन मीन्स हवा की आलूदगी. Air pollution is the presence of substances in the atmosphere that are harmful to the health of humans and other living beings or cause damage to the climate or to materials. An air pollutant is a material in air that can have adverse effects on humans and the ecosystem. The substance can be solid particles, liquid droplets, or gases. A pollutant can be of natural origin or man-made. The Air Prevention and Control of Pollution Act 1981 is an act of the Parliament of India to prevent and control air pollution in India. Reducing pollutants in the air is important for human health and environment. Now we will discuss Air Prevention and Control of Pollution Act 1981. The act came into force in 1981. The Air Prevention and Control of Pollution Act 1981 has been enacted by the Parliament of India under Article 253 of the Constitution to make laws for implementing decisions taken at international conference. The preamble to the Air Act states that the Act represents an implementation of the decisions made at the United Nations Conference on Human Environment held in Stockholm in June 1972. In this conference, India participated and was a party to the decision taken at the conference to take appropriate steps for the preservation of the natural resources of the earth, which among other things include the preservation of the quality of air and control of air pollution. The main objectives of the acts are: number first, that is to provide for the prevention, control, and amendment of air pollution. Number second, that is to provide for the establishment of central and state boards with a view of implement the act. Number third, that is to confer on the boards the powers to implement the provisions of the act and assign to the boards functions relating to pollution. लास्ट टाइम हमने डिस्कस किया था द वाटर प्रिवेंशन एंड कंट्रोल ऑफ पोल्यूशन एक्ट 1974. आज हम डिस्कस कर रहे हैं एयर प्रिवेंशन एंड कंट्रोल ऑफ पोल्यूशन एक्ट 1981. Structurally, the Air Act is similar to the Water Act with a central board and state boards administering a system of consent, orders, monitoring activities, and enforcement through fines and criminal prosecution. There are two agencies set up as per the Act for controlling and preventing air pollution. Number first, that is Central Board. What are the powers and functions of the Central Board? The main function of the Central Board is to implement legislation created to improve the quality of air and to prevent and control air pollution in the country. The board advises the central government on matters concerning to improvement of air quality and also coordinates activities, provides technical assistance and guidance to state boards, and lays down standards of the quality of air. It collects and disseminates information in respect of matters relating to air pollution and performs functions as prescribed in the Act. Now, next agency, that is State Board. Powers and functions of the State Board. What are the powers and functions of the State Board? The State Board have the powers to advise the state government on any matter concerning the prevention and control of air pollution, They have the right to inspect at all reasonable times and control equipment, industrial plant, or manufacturing process and give orders to take necessary steps to control pollution. They are expected to inspect air pollution control areas at intervals or whenever necessary. They are empowered to provide standards for different industrial plants with regard to quality and consumption of emission of air pollutants into the atmosphere. A state board may establish or recognize a laboratory to perform this function. The state governments have been given powers to declare air pollution control areas after consulting with the state board and also give instructions to ensure standards of emission from automobiles and restriction on use of certain industrial plants. The central board and state board are bound by such directions in writing as the central government and state government respectively may give to them. Where a direction by the state government is inconsistent with the directions given by the central board, the matter has to be decided by the central government. It's evident that the framework of the Air Act is similar to the one adopted by its predecessors. The Water Act, the Air Act expands the authority of central and state boards established under the Water Act to include air pollution prevention, control and amendment. All industries operating within designated air pollution control areas are required to obtain a permit from the state board under the Air Act. Emission standards for industry and automobiles are to be prescribed by the states after consulting the central board and noting it is ambient air quality standards. Under the Act, boards are empowered to close down a defaulting industrial unit or may stop its electrical or water supply. A board has the option to apply to a code to restrain emissions that exceed prescribed standards. The steep penalties, citizens' suit provision, and inclusion of noise pollution have made the Air Act more purposeful and effective. हम डिस्कस कर रहे हैं इस टाइम द Air Prevention and Control of Pollution Act 1981. The Act came into force in 1981. The Air Prevention and Control of Pollution Act 1981 has been enacted by the Parliament of India under Article 253. बाकी इंशाल्लाह आइंदा अल्लाह हाफिज़.